Welcome to 5th class students. Dear students, we have been dealing with the lesson, the tortoise, the birds and the feast. Right students? And we have completed some paragraphs also. So far as this lesson is concerned, there were few characters, the birds and the tortoise. Right students? Let's have a recap over what the contents which were completed earlier in our previous class. There was famine and a drought. That means there was food shortage in those days because of lack of rains, because of lack of sufficient food, and no crops were grown as there were no rains. Quite naturally, as a result of those conditions, there was food shortage, no crops were grown, as there were no rains, and people suffered a lot. Besides animals and birds, too suffered, and they had been spending days without food. Yes, the tortoise once used to take a lot of food. Now, then started starving because of lack of food, and its size came down. It has become very thin. It has become very thin. Yes, but it was well known for its cunningness and craftiness. Yes, when days were going on like this, the birds happened to hear that there will be a great feast to be arranged by the sky gods in the sky, and birds were the invitees. Birds were the invitees. Only birds could reach the sky and take part in the feast, which is going to be arranged by the sky gods. Birds were invitees. Our tortoise also comes to know this news. Our tortoise also comes to know this news, but it cannot go since it is not a bird. And it slowly approached the birds and tried his best to convince them to take him along with them to the sky to take part, so that it would also take part in the feast. But birds first did not yield. The birds first did not yield to the request, because birds very well know very well that this was cunning. Tortoise was cunning and crafty, well known for his tricks. They said the same thing. Tortoise, you are very cunning and crafty. We cannot believe yours, and our safety will be in danger if we take you to the sky. Then the tortoise began narrating his version. No, dear friends, dear birds, I am a changed man now. Once I was cunning and crafty, I was mischievous, but all cunningness, mischievous acts and craftiness comes back to me. Come back to me. What is the use of my cunningness and skillfulness when I am starving for food and I am suffering from hunger as I have no food? What is the use of my cunningness? It's of no use. I am a changed man now. You believe me. You take me along with you. Somehow the birds were convinced. They were kind and sympathetic towards the tortoise. But they removed all the birds, took out feathers from them. Each bird, each feather, took out feathers from their bodies and arranged on the body of tortoise, so that tortoise would also look like a bird. So that tortoise would also look like a bird. Yes, all of them went to the sky, and see, the tortoise did not change his attitude. Yes, now it started showing his craftiness and cunningness. But that is a grand feast. I happened to hear whenever there was a feast arranged by sky gods, and it calls out birds and other things by name. The sky gods calls out birds and other animals by their name. So my name is all for you. My name is all for you. Right? All of you. My name is all of you. Have you any objection to it? If I am called all of you, birds know that tortoise is a vast traveler. Tortoise was a traveler. Birds know very well that tortoise was a traveler. Since he was a traveler, he might have known from someone, that he what he is saying is true. Okay, carry on. Whatever you say. All of them went, and grand feast was arranged. Several items were served. Now, birds were very happy, and they were about to start their food, start to have their feast, about to start their take. Yes, but suddenly the tortoise interrupted. Yes, intervened. Dear friends, I told you already now. Just asked the sky gods, who is this food for? Who is this food arranged for? Asked the sky gods. Why not all of you? This food is for all of you. The sky god said, the food is all of you. Their intention is different, and they left. Then the tortoise called towards the birds. You have said, na? All the gods and goddesses, sky gods, told that this food is for me, because my name is all of you. So, all of you, since my name is all of you, this food is for me. You will be left with no food. You will be left without food. Then it ate entire food. Yes, and the birds were very, very sad and angry. They were very sad and angry towards the tortoise, but they were helpless. They too agreed with the tortoise when tortoise coined his name, but they were eagerly waiting for a chance. They were eagerly waiting for an opportunity to teach a fitting lesson to the tortoise. Right? See, the angry birds watched as tortoise devoured everything. Now onwards we have to teach the lesson. He did not leave a scrap of food or a drop of drink for them. The birds flew down to earth feeling sorry for themselves. The birds flew down to earth feeling sorry for themselves. They decided to punish tortoise for the nasty trick he had played on them. They decided to punish the tortoise for the nasty trick he played on them. Days passed and no one said a word about tortoise trick. Days passed and no one said a word about tortoise trick. Tortoise was very pleased with himself. Tortoise was very much pleased with himself. He thought proudly, the birds have accepted what I am much smarter than them. The birds, what could the birds do except accepting? The birds have accepted that I am much smarter than them. There is nothing they can do about it. Now there is nothing they can do about it. I am smarter than the birds. A week later, tortoise heard the birds talking about another feast. The eager tortoise heard the birds talking about another feast. Is this also being given by sky gods? He inquired. Oh no, the birds replied. We are preparing this one ourselves. We are preparing this feast ourselves. All by ourselves we are preparing this feast. Okay? The feast is not going to be arranged by anyone else. Each of us will bring whatever we can find. Each of us will bring whatever we can find. It's on the ground, not far from here. It's on the ground, not far from here. You may come. If you promise there will be no more trickery. Yes, it's on the ground, not far from here. It's on the ground only, on the earth only. You may come if you promise there will be no more trickery. So, no more trickery anymore. Of course, tortoise agreed. Okay. Tortoise was also waiting for a chance to have food, sufficient food. So the birds told him where they were having the feast. Soon all the birds gathered at the place. Tortoise was there too before the feast began. Tortoise was present there. Even before the feast began, Titan was present. One of the senior birds announced, see, all of you must watch yourselves. All of you must watch yourselves before you start eating. So soon all the birds gathered at the place. Tortoise was also present there. Before the feast began, one of the senior birds announced, "All of you must wash yourselves before you start eating." The bird turned to Tortoise and said, "He means you. All of you must wash yourselves before you start eating." All of you. That means, whose name is all of you? Tortoise name. So, a bird turned to Tortoise and said, "He means you. He means you. You only, all of you. Go to the river and wash yourself thoroughly. Only then you can have some food." It does not mean only me, Tortoise argued. He means everyone who is here. Now the other birds started insisting, No, it means only you. That's your new name, isn't you, all of you? All of you is, one of the birds said, all of you must go and wash. All of you must go and wash his face and hands. So it's all of you. That's your new name. Actually, all of you must wash their hands and legs. That is different here. Here all of you must wash yourselves before you start eating. So yourself you have to go and wash your feet. Yes? The birds began insisting. Grumbling all the way, Tortoise went to the river. Everyone knows that tortoise crawls slowly along the ground. So everybody knows it's a common phenomenon that tortoise crawls slowly on the ground, slowly along the ground. By the time Tortoise washed himself in the river, see students, and come back to the feast, the birds had finished all the food and drink. So since its nature is it crawls slowly, the tortoise crawls slowly along the ground. Okay, since it is not fast, so it took a lot of time to go to the river and wash itself and came back. By the time Tortoise came back to the birds, by then all the birds have eaten their food and drank their drink. They had finished all the food and drink. They had not left a scrap or drop for a tortoise. They had not left a scrap. Yes, crumbles, even a single crumble. They have not left any scrap or a drop of drink for tortoise. The birds flew away with full stomachs, making fun of Tortoise. He had at last got a taste of his own medicine. See, Tortoise had got, in the end, finally, had got a taste of his own medicine. It was a tit for tat. It is a tit for tat. Tortoise realized that he was not so clever after all. So Tortoise realized that it was not so clever after all, right? It got a lesson. It was taught a lesson from the birds. A fitting lesson it got from the birds. Yes, birds taught him a fitting lesson. Yes, by behaving and becoming smarter than the cars. So it is foolish to underestimate others and overestimate yourself sometimes. So what is the message that we are going to learn from this lesson is, not always, but sometimes it is foolish to underestimate others and overestimate yourself. Sometimes you can overestimate yourself. Okay, no problem. But you cannot overestimate always about yourself. You cannot overestimate. At the same time, always you cannot underestimate others. Always you cannot underestimate others. One day or the other, they will prove that they are smarter. And one day or the other, yes, you will be defeated. Yes, your smartness will not save you. So it is a message that the lesson is imparting us. Students, so the lesson has a moral value, moral lesson, and it is a message-oriented lesson. Yes, it has some value. In the end, finally, subsequently, after listening to the lesson, after knowing the lesson thoroughly, so one cannot cheat others always. One cannot deceive others always, and one cannot underestimate everyone always. Yes, and one cannot overestimate himself or herself. Okay, one cannot overestimate about himself or herself always. Right? There are limitations for anybody and everyone. Yes, there are limitations for everybody and anyone. According to the limitations, we have to act in times of need. Right, students? So this is the lesson. In the end, finally, the birds emerged victorious by teaching a fitting lesson to the tortoise. Tortoise once he was over smart and cunning and crafty by nature, and learnt a big lesson from the birds. Okay students, see you in the next class. We discuss with other lessons. Right? See you. Good luck. Right.